My people make you shout out, yeah. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you. Thank you. Share the broadcast and invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegun is live, and it is also going to be in segments. Now, as you are watching this video or broadcast, right, there is already an instituted case of perjury against Tinubu. Mind you, most of the time when accusations like this come against politicians, they usually say, my enemies at work. I didn't do anything wrong. But you see, David Undenyi should be your national treasure in Nigeria. Is done so much than what the supposed security agents in Nigeria should have done. And people were asking, what exactly is the work of Nigerian Daura Secret Service, that's DSS, whenever they say they are screening your candidates, which they don't? How come they sort of missed all of this that David just brought to light? Anyway, the video you just finished watching there was that of Obi in Rivers State today. You remember when Wike said that Obi cannot win. No, you know he cannot win. But Nigeria politics is a mad people's asylum sort of politics. But nevertheless, I will touch on that. Kolu was in Imo State today. I know it's just for formality. Even though the same APC, Egbekegbe, continue to gaslight the Igbos in Nigeria. They are punching bags. And Bokwari proved that in the last 7 years. However, Kolu was there today. And from what Oples Uzodijo announced, guess what? 2,000 Igbo businessmen donated or have donated 1 billion naira to Kolu. So immediately I saw that news. What came to my mind was that, so you are collecting money from IPOB now, because every Igbo man in Nigeria, according to this ethnic bigots, this religious bigots in APC, Egbekegbe, most importantly, when now that they know that Tinubu is a certified drug lord, back then and maybe now, so gaslighting the Igbos, every Igbo, forgetting the fact that they also have Igbos in their APC, Egbekegbe, but the easy sell, but Tinubu's easy sell, or the Lagos Abobaku's sell point is to gaslight the Igbos. And you know what I'm talking about. It's everywhere, right? But Tinubu was in Owerri today, and he received a check of 1 billion naira from Biafrans that are supporting him. Sorry if some of you feel like, my no be Igbos give him money. Now, all places Digba give him. It no matter. They are buying, because that's what most of those elite from Igbo land, that is what they have been living off. Okay, as much as hardworking as they are, they know that whatever they own right now is what Nigeria allowed them to own, and in order to continue to maintain that or keep holding on to that before Nigeria take everything away from them as usual, they have to pay for security, and politically, that's how they do it. So your elite, the people who don't really want Biafra. Same thing with us in Yoruba land anyway. But just surprised that Tinubu could take money from the Biafrans, from the IPOB. That should be the headline, not Igbo businessmen. IPOB or Biafran businessmen gave Tinubu 1 billion naira as a security investment in his presidency. We'll get to that part. The most interesting part is that you have been hearing about Tinubu this, Tinubu that. Baba, what David Undenyi just published. You know why I believe this is true so much is because it is not just the word of mouth. This time around, institutions that Tinubu mentioned that he's been in contact or he's worked with or he's schooled there, or you know what I mean? All the institutions in America were subpoenaed by David Undenyi's West African Weekly. Now, from the beginning of the year, it was David Undenyi who exposed the conflicts for jihad, exposed the names, the groups, Islamic terrorist groups in the up north who have connection with APC, Egbekegbe, now live inside Aso Rock. David exposed that. Up to this moment, no single case has been filed. Like, oh, you are the fake. Is a fake news, defamation of character. Because it's Nigeria, criminals are in charge. Who is going to look into that? Just the public rage. Nothing happened. It is also the same David, son of Undenyi, who came out as well to tell us how. And he didn't just tell us, he showed us, he gave us evidence of how Tinubu was the treasurer for drug runners in the 80s and 90s. Okay? And the indictment that made him to forfeit his own, $460,000 proceeds of heroin trade is their banker. It was their banker. Maybe it's still their banker anyway. Up to this moment, They have been doing so much to make it look like it is just one of those talks. But do you want to know something? Those who really matters are actually interested in this. It is bigger than what you think it is. Now, David Omo Undeyi has come out again, not just pointing fingers, not just making blabbing, what have you. He has come with even updated, documented details of Tinubu, and this has now emboldened, because that's the normal thing to do. If you have any evidence against him, go to court. Well, people don't go to court, but I don't expect them to have anything back, because who they control the court? No be them. Yeah, but some people are taking it up now. But on the moral ground, it is good to teach our children, to tell our children, okay, a drug leader, a drug baron, heroin trader, life ruiner, a corrupt kleptomaniac should never be, his story must never be told to our children as a hero. Just do that. To them, it's about election, it's about winning. Winner takes it all. Everybody can go to hell. But guess what? We won't go to hell. Okay? I mean, the hell they have created, that some of you have found comfortable, is what we are going to make more hellish. And our own children, they will understand why your generation is hellish, because it chose to be slavish. Now, we won't let you change the history. Continue electing your rogues and continue to expect them to do possibly well. Nah, it's not going to happen. So David just came back with some updated information with a court in America, court documents. Do you know that the real Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Bola A. Tinubu was actually a girl? We have found a document that registered the original Bola A. Tinubu, female. And that Bola A. Tinubu, for those of you who remember how Tinubu adopted that name, Abi, now we found the document. I'm talking about United States court document that shows that that Tinubu is a girl. And she's a girl, and she's also an American citizen. So if Tinubu adopted the name of the girl and henceforth change it to male or whatever, that means this Tinubu is also an American, and he's never told you that before, or has he? Because he can't. Anyway, we have a document now. Not just that, too. A lot of stuff where we say you have considered them as rumors all these years, ladies and gentlemen. But in your lifetime, you are going to see the truth. Some of you have seen it too. But for the diary in the temple tonight, every one of us will see through that. And the purpose, one question somebody asked was that why? What is the reason for all of this? I'll tell you, it is just one good reason, okay? You see the rogues who are parading themselves as leaders of different part of Nigeria under different political thieving groups, right? They have one lie that they have managed to sell for decades. And this time, we must demystify that, detach it, because there was never any correlation, okay? And that lie is that they are representing their people. They are fighting for their people's rights. For example, whenever an average thieving, criminal, northern politician want to speak or say something, he will be bragging and will tell you he's doing all of this for the sake of his people. But when you look back and see that same people he claims to be fighting for, they are worse off than you can even imagine. Right? If you go to the eastern part of Nigeria where we have the Igbos, you will see them, red cap, Isiagu dress. They call them chiefs, politicians, criminals, people who have stolen money meant for development, road construction, school construction, hospital construction, payment of staff, all that stuff. but they are well looking good. When you see them speaking, they will say, everything I am doing right now, I am doing it for the sake of my people. I am fighting for the people of Igbo land, which is a lie. And if you come down to the, or if you go further, I believe further up into the Niger Delta region, the place where the golden eggs that Nigeria politicians are sharing, the golden goose that is laying that golden egg is currently like prostrate, like near death. The environment is completely destroyed. The poverty level in that area can better be imagined. Do you understand? But when you see the criminals from there, they will dress in their akete, they will dress in their this Niger Delta, this and that. And small thing, they will say, I am speaking for the people of Niger Delta, the people of Niger, which is a lie. And same thing comes down to the Yoruba land as well. The rogues that you see around, wearing agbada, agbada, right? In imported expensive automobiles on dilapidated road. And they will tell you, everything I am doing, I am speaking for the people of Yoruba land. I am fighting for, but go to that Yoruba land and see the people they are fighting for. And then you realize that none of them is fighting for anybody. Now, because this is the tradition, right? Somebody like Tinubu is probably going to be seen as, wow, this must be the role model of the Yorubas. And to somebody like myself, it is a complete character destruction for people like us who actually work hard to be whatever we want to be in life. For common opportunists, scavengers, manipulators, who we know represent themselves and themselves only, and maybe the crumbs that they feed the poor, poverty-stricken morons that are actually sharing them on. So it's insulting for you to look around and say, and look, I mean, 24 years of a democracy in Nigeria, and you look at Yoruba land, and you look at the Yoruba politicians, and you realize that these guys are even richer, wealthier than the states and the people that they led, and they are not ashamed of it. It's a bragging right. So I will never sort of look away for so many of you low lives, humble slaves, obedient fools, the Tifun Lawrence, Alapama Shishes, to retell the story of criminals as heroes to our children, same way they used those before us to lie to us about the criminals before us. They told us our heroes past, the labor of our heroes past shall never be in vain. Can we then look at the, what do you call it, the labor of our heroes past in Nigeria? What is that labor of the heroes past? Who are the heroes past? Genocidists, coup plotters, account, looters, treasury looters. Bunch of criminals who never, ever get punished or got punished for their crimes. Rather, they go rewarded for something bigger. So for somebody like Tinubu, it is always the right thing to do to tell our children he is nobody's hero. He is a thief. A thief. Do you understand that? No matter how much you try to twist it, are you with me? The evidence is everywhere. He was a drug dealer. I don't know if he's still a drug dealer. There are evidence of that too. There are things that they have accused this criminal of that many of you would never, ever want any of your children to be accused of them, except if they've made money. Like we've said, back in the days, in Yoruba land, as much as people will tell you, Yorubas are very respectful, Yoruba respect elders. It is true. But here is the mix. Yorubas, me as a Yoruba man, full-blooded Domo Yoruba, not some Olori Bruku Agberos, pickpockets, on-boot slaves who are pretty much like living off others. That's exactly what politicians in Nigeria does, okay? They live off you. Do you understand that? They do nothing. they live off you. Then those who are praising them, collecting crumbs from them, they live off them. Bunch of leeches. You get a bunch of leeches. However, the story that our own children must be told, right, is this. When we were growing up in Yoruba land, you have to respect elders. And you see why? That the elders, they earn those respects. There are two proverbs. Àgbà ò kì ń wà lọ́jà kí orí ọmọ tuntun wọ́. Loosely interpreted as elders would not be in the market, right? And look away when an infant's head is wrongly positioned at the back of her mother or his mother. What does that mean is that an infant that is wrongly backed can deform the child. And how do you know? Elders, older people. It is about when you see something going wrong, before they become bigger thing, elders, they will quickly intervene to nib it. Do you understand? This is how elders, this is how they hand the respect. And when you see them, they will say, Baba, so, and so. If he says something, we need to listen to him. He's been very, very helpful. His advice on issues have helped us in the past to tame serious problems. So they hand that. Okay? Also in Yoruba land, we also have those we call Agbayas. The Agbayas are the ones who always use this fraudulent proverb. Kò sí nǹkan tá à ń fàgbàlagbà ṣe ká fi rẹ ọmọdé jẹ náà ni. There is nothing we use leadership for other than to cheat those below us. That is what that says, right? Criminals. But in Yoruba land, we call those Agbaya, Agbaushi, Agbaishe, Agbaofo, Agbadanu in Yoruba land. And they are also Agbalagba because we believe that in Yoruba land, we believe that even foolish people, wicked people, criminals, they also grow old. So therefore, in Yoruba land, we define what is leadership. What is the leadership quality? It is so potent, yeah? This issue of respecting elders in Yoruba land. It is so good that even the elders are also expected to respect the younger ones, or else they will lose that respect and they will never regain it. What can make elders lose their own respect? It is when their words are not their bond. When elders are lying, usually they will say, you can't tell elders that he is lying. Well, that is a lie. You can tell an elder when he is lying. You just have a way in Yoruba land. You have to say, no, you are lying. Do you get that now? But when you now know some elderly people who have the character of lying, in Yoruba land, we believe that if you are lying, you are going to steal. And if you steal, that makes you a thief. And as a thief, that means you are going to destroy your family name. The only value that Yoruba doesn't joke with, your name. Do you understand that now? So therefore, in Yoruba land, they say, even if you see a thief, whether he's young, whether he's old, and he dressed so beautifully, drives the best car, lives in the best mansion. Are you with me? He has everything. He has beautiful women, like everything you could dream of. In Yoruba land, guess what? They say, listen, with all of those things, that person is still a thief. You know why? All those things you are saying, he stole them. They are not his own. So because I grew up in that generation, the generation who were taught that people who have money, in fact, ìsàlẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́gbin that Yoruba says in Yoruba land, makes you to be very cautious associating with wealth, questionable wealth. But all of this changed in the 80s, 90s, when Boko Haram, Babangida, Abacha were in charge of Nigeria. This was also the moment that the drug pushing, heroin pushing, money laundering, human trafficking, and so many other horrible crimes were committed. Some of them that today, no family would want any of those crimes associated with their family. But in Nigeria, you have a way you can also clean your name. Okay? And that is, after being a criminal, you can go into politics. Being in politics means that Nigerians generally believe that politicians in Nigeria are criminals. They just prefer the criminals from one another. Like, I love this criminal. I love my own criminal. Oh, I don't like your criminal. Nigerians love their criminals differently. Do you get that now? So if you are a murderer, if you are a money launderer, if you are a human trafficker, if you are a drug trafficker, if you are an assassin, whatever you have done in your life, even if people knew you as that, join politics in Nigeria. And whatever it takes, just make sure that you win an election into a position or buy an election into a position. Now, the same Nigerians will say, but even if you carry drug, you have used the money to help people. That do your criticizer, do your accusers, do they know how many people you have raised? Do you know how many people you have given money to? Do they know how many people you paid their hospital bills from the drug money? Do they know how many people you paid their school fees? Some people will even say, if not because of you, they will never be educated, right? That the proceeds was from drug money, from fraud money, money laundering, and other loot from everywhere. Doesn't matter. Do you understand the concept of Nigerians loving their thieves differently now? Do you get that now? That's where the concept comes from. So in this case, the irony of it, the same Nigerians, suffer-head Nigerians, they somehow just develop this religious faith that make them believe that even if drug addicts, drug pushers, heroin pushers, international drug and money launderers, even if they gain access into the powerful position in politics in Nigeria, even if they were bad people, God can change them. There's nothing God cannot do. Now, for 62 years, instead of that God to help these moron Nigerians to change the heart of the criminals, now the criminals have ruined their lives. So for the sake of our children, for the sake of our own children, we must make sure that we keep the record straight. And these Olori Burukus will not retell the story and turn drug dealers, which he probably will like. I mean, if he becomes your president, it will become Presidiot Tinubu, and they can try to whitewash him. For the sake of our children, for the sake of posterity, we have to put that out there. For the sake of posterity, not for the sake of your belly, not for the sake of whatever they are going to give to you. So that's why we are doing it. I hope that answered your question, right? It may not really mean so much to you. Depends on how much your head is deep in that ass of your oppressor. So it depends. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. So where should we start from? I think we should go on and then quickly dish out the new information on Tinubu that is really, 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 really concerning. But because they say you can't shame the shameless, that's what they say. You cannot shame the shameless. But you always tell the shameless people, should I say, you can always show the shameless people their shame every now and then. Somehow, one day they will remember that when they were doing their Oriburuku, no be everybody actually played along. So for that sake, I'm going to read few of these things to you. Stop there and do some my own jara jara. When I finish with this, show you all the evidence, review them, scrutinize everything. Then we're going to go to the drama that happened in Rivers State today, where Wike hosted Peter Obi. What happened? But somehow, we need to review the two. Meanwhile, I'll start with this. Now, if you really want to follow this properly, the purpose of this is that Tinubu is committing a crime. He has committed a crime, okay? And your Daura Secret Service declared him, okay, of all of this. That's why they will tell you, go to court, go to court. Tinubu even forged, you see that certificate, okay? You know that he's been having controversy about whether he went to University of Chicago or Chicago State University. Sure, you remember that time? Well, they finally settled that he went to Chicago State University. Okay, where is the certificate of your Chicago State University? And that as well, yeah, they now forged that. You know what? He presented a certificate to INEC. The certificate he presented to the INEC is actually a fake certificate that they made online. You know what? Make I no rush you. Let's get into it because of our time. Because I wish I'm going to take calls tonight. Okay. So thank you so much for joining me, and I hope you have shared this broadcast. So I have a few of my friends asking about Ade Williams. Ade Williams is probably watching you. Okay, but you will never read from him again, or whoever is behind the name. Okay. So I did say something. I said that on Mayegun's Diary Political, okay, I am not going to be an echo chamber for people, right, who make pronouncements, who make declarations in the name of a Yoruba nation, okay, that I am not going to be an echo chamber of that, all right? Those who told you that they will declare Yoruba nation by December, or they will declare it by this or that, I said they probably know what they are doing. If you have any question for them, ask them. To me, I won't be the echo chamber of that. Now, you see that Ade Williams, he probably started following Mayegun's Diary Political because of Yoruba nation and all that, okay? And somehow, he kept spamming down my broadcast that day. He started spamming it by repeating the same message. And what was that message? It was like, Mayegun, you need to respect the leadership of Ilano, that you don't know what they are doing, or that you should respect the leadership of Yoruba nation and all of that stuff. That if I don't understand what they are doing, I should not criticize them. And I've told you guys, okay, that I don't have any criticism for them other than when you come around to say, why am I not repeating what they said on different Facebook pages that they are? Okay, every day, every one of them says something to you. I don't listen to them. I don't follow them. Most of them, I don't watch them, right? And it is just out of respect that I don't want to watch something that will get me to say, no, that's a lie, that's rubbish, that's nonsense. And I want to say something about that, and it will be like a fight, right? I said on this platform, we'll keep our own part, which is to continue to educate the people, enlighten them, and possibly support them on why they should embrace the messages of a Yoruba nation and all of that, okay? So if you now come onto my page and you begin to try to question me by questioning why I am not saying what they are saying, I have a particular tool on YouTube, okay? That instead of having to engage you or kind of go into all this kind of nonsense with you, I have this tool that can just make you watch Mayegun, but nobody will ever hear from you again, ever. Except if you decide to go and probably, open another YouTube, Gmail. But if that is the reason why you got silenced that way, you will repeat it and I'll do same thing again. Okay, I live by my rule, and I always tell people, do not build too much expectation on Mayegun. I don't live by people's rules. I don't do groups. I don't do what do you call it? I don't do caucus. Do you get that now? I used to kind of love to bring people here to have a chat one-on-one, but I realized that no, it's not my thing. I love it. I would love to have everybody here to come and speak and all that. But when it comes to things like this, right? I realized that my line of thoughts is completely different from some of these guys. And because of that, I set my own rules. Do you get that now? Mayegun's Diary Political has been in existence before any of them. In fact, before all of them. So respect that name. So if I say something, it's because I want to say something about it. If I wake up tomorrow and I want to talk about Yoruba Nation, I can spend all my days talking about that. Do you get that now? So don't come to Mayegun's Diary Political and begin to spam me by that. You know what I mean? So if I cite you, no matter how much or how popular you are on Mayegun's Diary Political, no matter how much I like you, or no matter how much I mention your name all the time, always remember that boundary. If you cross it, I won't push it. I will push you to where nobody will hear from you again, ever. And that will be just to maintain silence, all right? Respect that. Anyway, let's do something. Let's get on with this. And this is it. The Bola Ahmed. They said, as Bola Ahmed. Yes, ma'am. As Bola Ahmed, Tinubu committed a perjury. The evidence says yes. Go to the West African Weekly, the publication of David Undenye. Yeah. So I am going to read, talk, and hopefully I can maintain my time and make the evening more interesting for you, for everybody who decided to be part of it. Okay. So David Oni, who exactly is the presidential candidate of Nigeria's ruling party? The results of several subpoenas have revealed forged documents, identity theft, false claims, and perjury on his INEC form EC9. A criminal complaint bordering on issues relating to perjury on Bola Ahmed Tinubu's Independent National Electoral Commission's INEC form EC9 has been filed at the Magistrate Court of the Federal Capital Territory, sitting at Zone 6 by a lawyer and civil advocate barrister Mike Enahoro Heba. Attached to the request for criminal summons dated Thursday, November 10, 2022, is damning evidence of wrongdoing by the APC presidential candidate, including document forgery, perjury, and potentially even an instance of identity theft. It will be recalled that on July 13th, 2022, West African Weekly published a long-read investigative story about APC presidential candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his links to heroin trafficking and money laundering in Chicago during the 1980s and early 1990s. Subsequently, on November 13th, 2022, West African Weekly published a documentary based on the story titled Bola Tinubu from Drug Lord to Presidential Candidate. Go on to the West African Weekly YouTube. You can see the video there. Now, let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. Let's get down to business. The new revelations are the result of months of collaboration between barrister Enahoro Heba and the Chicago law firm Leahy, Einstein, and Frankel. I'll try again. It said Leahy, Essenberg, and Frankel Limited. Manager like that too. Working on a brief to verify Bola Tinubu's US academic and employment record as given on his INEC form EC9 and in several media appearances. Matthew J. Cowles, an attorney with the above law firm, sent out attorney subpoenas to Richard J. Daly College, formerly known as Southwest College, Chicago State University, Anderson Tax, and Deloitte LLP. Wow. Now, what are the subpoena used for in court normally? So, if another party wants to obtain information or document or get you to testify and secure your testimony, then they may send you a subpoena. Their attorneys will normally spend a lot of time drafting these documents so that your failure to reply will get you in trouble under the law. As noted above, the subpoena may come in different forms to the persons. It may ask for documents. It may also call the person to be a witness. Failure to answer in both scenarios, absent a legal excuse, may open that person up to various penalties subject to the law. Here are some of frequent needs for a subpoena: health information, computer files, income and employment documentation, financial documents like tax returns, photos. So at a press time, West African Weekly was able to get hold of responses to the subpoenas from Richard Daly College, Chicago State University, and Deloitte LLP. The documents contained in the responses, which differ sharply from the documents and information submitted to INEC by Tinubu, make up the basis for the legal action filed by Enahoro Heba. Among the many discrepancies and omissions as outlined in the action are different dates of birth, failure to provide evidence of attendance of a school that appears on his academic record, failure to disclose a secondary citizenship, forgery of a university degree certificate, a potential instance of identity thefts. Now, the accusations laid out with evidence. Give me a sec. I think, okay, because some of you are reading with me, I'll leave it in this format. I believe it's so bold on your screen. So let's leave it in this format. Meanwhile, if you are watching me right now on YouTube, we call ourselves the early bird and early callers, okay? So we are currently over 1,200 of us right now, which is good. So you can take a moment while you are listening. Just listen. You can like this broadcast. Subscribe if you haven't. According to the court documents which are available in full here, Tinubu's INEC form EC9, affidavit in support of personal particulars of persons seeking elections to the office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, was not made available by INEC to Enahoro Heba when he requested for it. Despite INEC being legally obligated to make it public, he subsequently filed a lawsuit against INEC, which was resolved in his favor on August 22, 2022. This is the court judgment. So, issuance of certified true copies of documents, right, to this lawyer by the court. After beating INEC in court, he engaged Leahy, Eisenberg, and then Franikel Limited to verify Tinubu's US records as stated on the sworn affidavit. The responses to these subpoenas, which were made available to West African Weekly shortly after the filing of the court's process, show evidence that the APC presidential candidate committed perjury on his Form EC9, which could be grounds for criminal prosecution. Now, here is the direct criminal complaint brought pursuant to blah, 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 and, against Tinubu. This direct complaint is lodged against the defendant, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, of number 2, Justice Lawal Way Street, beside Lagos State Government Lodge Annex, Asokoro District, Abuja. Now, there's already a case. And what do they want to prove in court? Now, you will see them in part very soon. This is a court case already for Tinubu to be jailed. Are you with me? Now, here are the charges. Okay? So, I don't know how that is going to go, but it's already ongoing. But let's continue. because of our time. So, speaking exclusively to West African Weekly, Enahoro Heba said, Chicago State University was cooperative until we sent them the INEC copy of the certificate, pointing out the differences and asking them if they issued this. Next thing we knew, an outside counsel contacted our lawyer asking that we destroy all documents because he made a technical error in the subpoena or something silly like that. So Tinubu is currently fighting back from the US. So they are not suing anybody for defamation. They are not suing, they are not threatening to arrest anybody after this release. Oh, it's been over 24 hours. Oh, but they are already trying to fight back. Continue to listen. Oh. True or false? Let's examine the evidence. While it is not listed on his INEC EC9 affidavit, Tinubu has repeatedly claimed that he was recruited by global consulting firm Deloitte immediately after graduating from university in 1979. There, as an entry-level consultant fresh out of university between 1979 and 1983, he allegedly saved up the sum of $1.8 million from salary and bonus payments alone. So this is a newspaper publication in Nigeria where Tinubu said, my education, career at Deloitte, Mobile, others, the lies he's been saying, right? According to Tinubu, he said, how did you get into Mobile? Tinubu in that interview, he said, at Deloitte and Touche, I chose to travel more than 80% of my working years there. And that is because if staff chose to travel, it would make more money. After all, it will get travel allowances. That got me into National Oil, which became the joint ventures partner of Aramco Oil in Saudi Arabia, which is like the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation. We had gone there to set up their accounting and auditing system. It was while on that service that I got my financial break. When I returned to the United States, my employers gave me a huge bonus, which instantly turned me into a millionaire. How much was that? The bonus was $850,000 before taxes. My salaries were also being paid into the bank, and I was not touching them. At the time, my salary deposit in the bank had risen about $1.8 million. Hello, how much was Tinubu's salary? $2,400. He said Deloitte and Touche paid him $850,000 because he was working for them, and he got paid more because he was traveling everywhere. Okay. To verify whether this actually happened, Leahy, Eisenberg, and Frankel Limited issued a subpoena to Deloitte LLP on September 16, 2022, requesting all information held on file about Bola Ahmed Tinubu. This is the court's subpoena that they sent to the Deloitte, the company that Tinubu said paid him $850,000 as bonus. He wasn't the partner. He said he's working as an auditor. Okay. They sent this, and the company replied. So the writer said, any and all records, including but not limited to application for employment, resume, his resume, and then a correspondence, personnel file, records relating to any submitted accreditation to practice as an accountant or in any other professional capacity requiring licensure, your, accounting exam, CPA results, CPA certifications, test results, and any other records in your possession or control relating to Bola Ahmed Tinubu, date of birth alleged to be March 29th, 1952. Social security number, blah, 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 or blah, one person, they traced 3 social security numbers to his name. Anyway, Deloitte, the response which came on September 20th, 2022, was direct and unequivocal. Deloitte from New York replied. They replied Leahy. They said, "Dear Mr. Cowles, we received a subpoena dated September 16, 2022, seeking employment record for Bola Ahmed Tinubu, social security number, blah, 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 date of birth, this. Please be advised that we have no record of Bola Ahmed Tinubu in our systems, and as such, have no employment record for them. Sincerely, Tish Negron, Senior Legal Specialist for Deloitte." I hope you they follow. On his INEC form, form EC9, Tinubu provided no details of his primary and secondary education. Even filling in the relevant years as 0000. Exactly. Why INEC permitted these clear violations remain unclear, but it could perhaps go some way to explaining the Commission's reluctance to release certified true copies of the EC9 to the public. They say, which year which school Tinubu go to? Tinubu no get school, primary school. Which year Tinubu left primary school? 0000. Secondary school, only Tinubu law, no secondary school. Year only Tinubu, which year Tinubu finished secondary school? 0000. But higher education, business and administration, BSc in business and administration, 1979. INEC accepted this for person who wants to be president of Nigeria. When I told you that Nigeria is a crime scene, do you think I actually made that up? It is a crime scene controlled by criminals. The system is rigged, led by criminals. Every one of them. You get that? Now, what is his working experience? He said he worked in Mobile. This is his INEC form. Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tinubu's form that is submitted to INEC. Oh. Okay? Now, he said he worked where he worked. He worked for Mobile, Hoi, Nigeria. He worked for National Assembly. Then he worked in Lagos State as governor. Are you with me? He is a money launderer. Politics, military, reason for leaving Mobile, say politics. That was when they wanted to go and clean the money, heroin money, Agbele, and the rest of them. So when they say, why did you leave National Assembly? He said military intervention. Why did you leave Lagos State? What have you? He said because of his end of his term. He's never worked since then. Now this is his INEC form. President of Nigeria, somebody that professors are defending. He built Lagos. He made Lagos. You are living in slum. And you shameless goat. Shameless. I like Lujuti. You are not going to tell a wrong story to my children. You can continue to tell your children and continue to glorify criminals as your role model so that your children will grow up and worship them. My children will never worship these criminals. I don't worship them. I don't respect them. None of my children will respect any of these rogues. None of them. And they will never, ever, they will never feel less of themselves in the presence of these rogues. As some of you are, as you have made your life as useless, as humbled, as slavish, as you have made yourselves, you are telling your children the same thing, Abi. The other day I was talking to Kofo, and Kofo was like, I don't like politicians. I said, you know, I don't like politicians too. He said, I know. I said, but why? He said, they lie a lot. I said, did any of them lie to you? I said, I don't know, because they lie a lot. I don't believe them. So you see, none of my children will believe any of this. So in order for some of you, that they have already ruined your life, you have used your own life to play kalu. Useless. Your children may come across this message in the future. Okay? And they will appreciate me and say, thank you so much for this man. No, Mayegu. Our papa and our mama, they are so useless. You are watching me right now. Your children will watch this video later and they will call you useless. And they will thank Mayegu because you are telling them that they should glorify thieves. But Mayegu will tell them why their future got ruined because you were glorifying thieves, criminals. So now let's continue. To gain some clarity over Tinubu's educational background, another subpoena went out to Chicago State University, where Tinubu claims to have obtained a degree in business and administration in 1979. This is where it becomes interesting, okay? So this is the subpoena to Chicago State University now. Let's ask them. Tinubu came there. Tinubu studied there. Oh yeah, waiting being named. Give us his record. Whatever is submitted. Now, this is the subpoena. The subpoena sent to the Chicago State University. Chicago, Toronto University, Tinubu. They said any and all records pertaining to the admission of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, date of birth allegedly to be March 29, 1952, Social Security number 123, as a student, Chicago State University, including but not limited to his application for admittance at the university and all documents submitted to the university for consideration of his admittance, any and all records pertaining to the acceptance by the Chicago State University of Bola Ahmed Tinubu as a student at the university, including but not limited to any correspondence or documentation evidencing his admittance as a student to the Chicago State University, any and all documents pertaining to any degree attained by Bola Ahmed Tinubu from Chicago State University or issued by the Chicago State University, and in general, any documentation tending to prove that Bola Ahmed Tinubu was admitted as a student at the Chicago State University and attended school at Chicago State University as a student of the university, and or any document evidencing that Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not attend or was not admitted to Chicago State University. High Court, right? Now here. So this is the affidavit that Tinubu submitted to INEC. Sure you get now. Now, going forward. Here, Chicago State University academic record of March 29, 84. Okay, hang on. Sorry, 50. What is this one? Here is the mix-up now. Here we get to the mix-up. He said, on Chicago State University's records, however, Bola A. Tinubu has a different date of birth. The date of birth on the Chicago State University website, record, shows that Bola A. Tinubu date of birth was March 29, 1954. Yeah, which is on your record now, on your screen. As mentioned above, Tinubu's EC9 contained no details of any secondary school attended in Nigeria. On it, he also affirmed that he has no nationality other than Nigeria. Now, let's continue. So here, on Chicago State University's admission records, however, Tinubu claimed to have attended Government College, Lagos. He also claimed to be Black American. This is the record. This is the INEC record, right? Hang on. Tinubu's INEC record on his date of birth says he was born on March 29, 1952. The Chicago State University record shows that he was born on the March 29, 1954. 2 years extra. Now, on his education with INEC, he said, hang on. Yeah, on his INEC form, on his educational background, he said he didn't feel any primary school or secondary school. But on the record with Chicago State University, he filled that he went to Government College, Lagos, and he's a Black American. Now, going forward, this is important because there is a certain amount of ambiguity as to whether Section 137 of the 1999 Constitution precludes certain public office holders, including the president, state governors, and members of the Senate and Federal House of Representatives from holding dual citizenship. What is known for a fact is, in any case, is that if Tinubu was indeed Black American, that is in possession of U.S. citizenship, that would mean that he committed perjury by failing to declare it on his EC9 form. Now, this is where whatever that law says, okay, in your 1999. But let's continue. As bad as the above infractions look, they pale into insignificance compared to those that come next. For reference, as mentioned in West African Weekly's July expose, there has been persistent controversy over Tinubu's true identity prior to his arrival in the US. His refusal to include details about his Nigerian education on the EC9 affidavit has not helped to dispel the persistent rumors that Bola Ahmed Tinubu could in fact be an assumed identity. This is worse. This is worsened by what is revealed on the following documents included in Chicago State University's responses to the subpoena. The document is an academic transcript for Bola A. Tinubu from Southwest College, later renamed Richard J. Daly College, which was used to process his admission into the university. On it, the sex of Bola A. Tinubu is clearly marked F female. Oluwole, all of you, excuse me, all of you know about Oluwole back in the day, Sabi. Oluwole visa, Oluwole passport, Oluwole this or that. It be like say the passport where they come out Tinubu, where they come out person head, put Tinubu's head, na female information. No? Look at it on your screen. If you can see it, that is it circled there. Okay. Bola A. Tinubu is marked F female. Now, since US law in the 1970s only permitted individuals to legally reclassify their gender after gender reassignment surgery, it is safe to preclude the possibility that the person now known as Bola Ahmed Tinubu once identified as a woman. This raises all sorts of questions about who exactly is the APC presidential candidate is. Who exactly the APC presidential candidate is, including the alarming question of potential identity theft, criminal impersonation, and fraud. Even more curiously, as stated by CSU, Chicago State University, there are no records for Tinubu on file that contain clear information about who exactly Bola A. Tinubu was. No passport, no visa, no social security card, and no driver license. See, please be advised that Bola A. Tinubu attended Chicago State University from August 1977 to June 1979. He was awarded Bachelor's of Science degree in Business Administration with honors on June 22, 1979. The enclosed document is all the records we have for Bola A. Tinubu. We do not have a record of any document for a passport, visa, social security card, or driver's license. Additionally, we do not have a record of how tuition was paid during his time of attendance. The school have nothing. Well, still, it gets even worse. The following document was submitted to INEC alongside the EC9 affidavit as proof of Bola Tinubu's degree at Chicago State University. Now, look at what Tinubu submitted as his certificate from Chicago State University. This is his own document, the certificate. Look at it very well, right? That's what they submitted to INEC. Now, in response to the subpoena, Chicago State University reproduced and sent in the exact degree certificate that was awarded to him in 1979. That certificate can be seen below. Evidently, both certificates are completely different. Now, Tinubu went to this school, Abi, right? and he produced this certificate. But when the university will actually produce, now look at the logo. I want you to see the logo. I want you to see the font. Then look at the logo here. This is the original one sent to the lawyers investigating this. So where did Tinubu get this from that he gave to INEC? This is the one given to INEC. This is the one INEC of Nigeria have right now. And how did INEC not know that this is fake? How? Did they make any verification from this school about Tinubu at all? Of course they didn't. Nigeria is anything, is where anything goes. A man will no go secondary school, will no go attend anything. Buhari is the two-time president of Nigeria now. But look at Nigeria. Just look at them. But how did INEC ignore this? But what came to my mind is this. The same INEC that told you that they have registered over 90 million voters in Nigeria. The same INEC who said that 40% of the voters from Southeast Nigeria and the Niger Delta, that they didn't do their registration well. Therefore, they canceled your registration. The same INEC, they are able to keep all this record of these people, these children who are on the voters register in Nigeria. So the INEC that allowed this, are you surprised that the same INEC, they have no idea which is original or which is fake? But let's continue. We are still talking about identity theft here. A line-by-line analysis of the original certificate versus what Tinubu submitted to INEC reveals the following glaring discrepancies. First of all, both certificates are written in completely different font types. It is important to note that the certificate provided by Chicago State University in response to this subpoena is an exact reprint of the original certificate issued in 1979. So who was Bola A. Tinubu that actually went to Chicago State University? Which one is this Bola Tinubu? Who did the Oluwole changing? How come this Bola Tinubu could not get the original certificate, but David Udeyin, through a subpoena of court, were able to get original from the same university? Did he actually go to that university? Of course he didn't. But it is Nigeria. It doesn't matter. They love their thieves. They worship them. So this means that any other certificate purporting to be the same one with even the slightest deviation in style, format, or content can only be fake. Tinubu submitted fake certificates to INEC from Chicago State University. That is perjury. I don't know if what that means in your... Do you get that now? The point here is those who are going to defend, those who are defending Tinubu, these are the people who actually went to primary school, they went to secondary school, they suffered through schools, that they went to university, they graduated, became jobless, became poor, and they got employed as political vuvuzelas. They are now giving reasons, excuses, why they have to submit fake certificate. They are defending somebody using fake certificate. Can you define what shame is in your own language? What do you call shame? Itiju, we call it itiju in Yoruba. What do you call shame in your language? What do you call it in Hausa? What do you call shame in Igbo? What do you call shame in Efik? What do you call shame in Kalabari? What do you call shame in Fufude? Tell me, I'm going to read. I'm going to pronounce them. We call it itiju. Those who have no shame are called alaini itiju. But somehow, they say you cannot shame the shameless. You went to school. Primary school, secondary school, university. And you are defending somebody with fake one because of atijeun, because of your stomach. God, Olorun Joe, I shall never be poor in my life. Olorun Joe, ma jẹ́ poor. Kolakoshagbe. You know what they call kolakoshagbe? I know rich, I know poor, I know beg. Is people will they say then they okay. So Olorun Joe, May God not put your source of income or source of survival in the hands of the system of Nigeria. Educated people, they defended NEPA certificate on this street. Now you know that if nobody didn't go to any Chicago State University, it is a forged document. If David could get original document, the person will hold them, go. Why must he submit fake? Have you asked yourself that question? The person, if you want to ask me for all my certificate now, they give me one certificate from Royal College London. That certificate, I don't know where it's inside my car. Royal College London. I no go university there. I no go to college. I went to go and do one single course. They call them proficiency in English language. How can you? Person we sabi speak English language. Some of you they call they tell me say I know sabi English, idiots. Royal College in London, they collect money from me. After collecting money from me, they gave me certificate. Best in spoken English. They said my spoken English is the best. 1 second though. I want to take a quick and a short one. Okay, don't go anywhere. I'm coming.
And the only way out for us is to continue to do that in the next 4 years. This particular aspirant, as you all know, you can go and check it. The records are there. This is somebody that has been arrested for spending fake American dollars in a nightclub in America, and he's been detained for months. And he knows that he has won mock shots for months before this whole thing was quenched. He's also known that he doesn't have the competence to do